So now the contract that you want to give to the one of who the tender.
Yes, we want to issue it to the one who has satisfactorily won the tender. Okay, so here's a bit of an outline. So this is hmm? Okay. Okay, so what we are saying is when we are satisfied that the contract can be issued out, we have received a no objection and a go ahead, one from the IPDC, and secondly from the PPDA who have issued a no objection. The second phase is to publish what we call a notice of intention to award. Okay? Publishing a notice of intention to award, and then you're going to publish again a notice of award. During this period of publication, what you are waiting for are protests if anybody has got a concern with how the evaluation or the whole procurement process went. And then we are going to look at preparing and issuing contract documents and finally contract signature, effectiveness, and commencement. So this is what we are going to cover today. Okay, so tender notices are some of the most transparent documents in procurement because they show that it is just an intention. So what if during this period somebody or a bidder raises a concern that we feel our bid did not receive the I mean, right attention, would we seek an audience to see how the process went? Okay, that is allowed. So there are supposed to be dates that will be given for the protest to take place. Bidders, only bidders, and those that are connected to the bidders are allowed. The general public is not allowed to do that, okay, because they're not part of the procurement process. But they have the bidders have got a legal right to seek an audience with the procurement entity. If there are no protests within the stipulated days, then the procurement entity can go ahead and issue what is called a notice of award. You see the difference, eh? There's notice of intention and notice of award. Okay. So the first one was just an intention. We are intending to give the contract to so, 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 and so. Okay? If you have got any problem, please come forward. After the protest period has elapsed, then they will issue a notice of award. The procurement entity shall award the contract within the bid validity period. Do you remember the bid validity period? Mm-hmm. Yeah? This period is stipulated in the document. The bidders that meet the appropriate standards of capability and resources and whose bid has been accepted in accordance with the bidding documents. So it means they have passed all the three stages of the evaluation: preliminary, detailed technical evaluation, and then financial evaluation. So this means that all pertinent issues that were supposed to be covered have been covered and all approvals have been approved. At this point where
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
We'll go back there. Okay. Is it on this one? You publish it?
yes, all of these are supposed to be published.
I thought you said that and just give it then we so whether it exists for success, but the second one,
Okay.
maybe
So that is a good question. So if the procurement wasn't published, let's say request for quotation, yeah, small in value, okay, routine, you issue straight to the procurement entity. But those that are supposed to be published, like the national competitive bidding, international competitive bidding, because those are published, one for the request for bids, and then secondly for the notice of invitation, and then notice of award. But those ones that have got, which is obviously the request for quotation, you don't publish it. Yeah. You remember when we are doing the principles of public procurement, we looked at proportionality. Yeah. So proportionality means you provide the appropriate, attention to the right things. Those that are simple and straightforward and small in value, they are also given on time, provided the appropriate attention. So let's look at the contents of the notice of award. One, the name and address of the procuring entity that is part of the contract. So we are going to put our name. If our procuring entity is University of Lilongwe, we will put University of Lilongwe, and then there's the name and address of the bidder who is supplying the goods to us. So let's say DJ Hardware, date of the letter of tender acceptance. So the tender acceptance has to also be provided. reference number of the prepared transaction, and a brief description of the goods. So you write the reference number, University of Bureau 2024/08, okay, and then description, supply, and delivery of motor vehicles. The date and any reference number of the bidder's tender you have to give there. Reference to any modifications to tender resulting from clarifications. If there are any clarifications and corrections, remember we spoke about mathematical or arithmetical corrections. Yeah? So if there was any mathematical corrections, those have to be put as details. And then the currency and total quantity and total contract price also has to be indicated. And then you write the wording that the notification of award constitutes blah 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 blah, and the formal contract will be issued. Okay, those are just words that guide the notice of award. So once you issue the notice of award to that particular contractor, it means they can now start preparing for contract signing. Okay? Let's look at debriefs. So in debriefing, we are looking at any bidder that wishes to understand how their bid did not pass or how their proposal did not pass. Okay? They want to understand why they failed. So they can seek an audience to ask what is it that we did not do right. Because maybe a tender like this can also happen in the future. How should we go about it? So it is their right to do that, to seek debriefing.
Even the successful.
The successful, obviously they know how they prepare their bid document. Do you know, you want to know how you passed your exams? Were you not reading? Okay, so those that understand how to prepare bid documents, they know how to pass. But those that are trying to get into the business, so they want to come and ask, how did we fail? Others are also bidders that thought they might win the contract. So they want to understand what really happened. So you explain, the procurement entity must explain to these bidders what really happened for them to fail. So they're saying any bidder that wishes to learn why its bid or proposal was not selected may request an explanation from the preparing entity. This explanation is known as a debrief. Okay? So if the tender was rejected during the preliminary review, the debrief should contain a brief statement of the reasons for the rejection. Only the brief reasons for the rejection. So remember, the preliminary is the first stage, right? Where we said we are looking at simple things that the supplier omitted, such as a bid declaration was not signed by the company representative, or a tender was not signed and authorized, or a tender was not valid for the period. It means their validity was lower than the actual bid valid period. Yeah? If you wanted the tender to last 90 days and they only gave us 60 days, that one is a preliminary exit. Okay? Bid declaration not signed, they are supposed to sign a bid declaration because it's them declaring that if they pull out of the condition, they will be punished and all this. Okay? And secondly, a tender is not signed. They are supposed to sign. Whoever is a representative, the CEO, or the managing director of that company, that bidding company, they are supposed to sign. If it's not signed, it is taken as if it is an invalid document. Okay? So these are the things that we have to work on. And then if a tender for goods, works on, and concerning services was rejected during the technical evaluation, the debrief should contain a brief statement indicating how the tender failed to meet the required technical specs or standard on how it was commercially accepted. Now, there's a tendency by some people to favor other suppliers. Okay? So what they do is they find reasons why the other bidders should be choked or should be removed. That's why you have protests, because they know how they've prepared for that bidding process. Okay, and when they see a company which to them maybe may look like not legitimate enough to win the contract, that's when they come and ask for an audience. So as procurement officers, we need to understand that whatever we do is also watched by the world out there, the society out there. Key stakeholders are also watching us. So when it comes to technical evaluation, we need to explain the tender did not meet the required specification. For instance, the engine size was too small, and you explain we wanted 2.50 liters, you provided 2.0 liters. Okay? Or we gave you a range 2.5 to 3 liters, you only provided 1.4 to 2 liters. That was not the range that we were looking for. Okay? So you are looking at the specification against their specification. Does it comply? If it's non-compliant, then they were omitted. Right? So you need also to understand that going forward, they will also sharpen up when they are presenting the documents. If the next tender comes, they will know how to prepare the documents. Right?
So,
Yes.
is it possible that during the debrief, the unsuccessful bidder so look at their document and see there is nothing wrong with it? Will they, what will they happen to them?
That's when they will lodge a complaint. That's a protest now. If you're not giving them satisfactory reasons why you dropped them, then that's a protest. Yeah? So if they come for a debriefing and then they see that you're not giving legitimate reasons why they were dropped, then they can lodge a complaint. Seriously.
Sir, on the same question, just to add, when let's say there are two bidders who are successful, okay, what can you do?
So they will never be two bidders.
Oh,
No, only one is supposed to win.
okay, what I mean is, also, they're okay, what can you do in that case? Let's say for selecting a supply, let's say for somehow one will complain.
Okay, so remember, when we are doing the selection process, we start from preliminary. Yeah. So most of them can pass from the preliminary side. And then we'll go to the technical. Some of them may drop from the preliminary. And a few will go to the technical. Some of them may also drop in the technical. And a few will go to the financial. Now on the financial, do you mean they can be the same, they can quote the same price?
Sometimes. Let's assume it happens.
Let's assume it happens.
Yes.
Okay, then there's the post qualification now. The post qualification will now look at this, the technical capacity of that supplier. Okay, but I don't think they can be that equivalent in all areas. For instance, let's talk about payment terms. Maybe one can be 60 days, one can be 15 days. Will you still work for the 30 days? Yeah? There must be something which may be different. So I'm just giving an example of now payment terms. Delivery terms, you might specify 6 to 10 weeks, and one of them says no, we can deliver between 8 to 10 weeks. And one of them says will deliver between 3 to 5 weeks. So the one that delivers 3 to 5 weeks is better off because it will deliver quicker than the other one. Right? But they can pass all those stages up to financial. Okay? But it's very possible that these bidders can reach out to financial evaluation, but there are areas now that we have to go into. And remember also when we were talking about ranking, yeah, we looked at the coming in of the single currency, where other bidders were looking as if they were better off than others, but when we tried to make a common currency, the other bidders, came down. Okay? And in the ranking, he said the one who had the highest ranking is number one, the others followed. So the one who is number one, we say we have to do the due diligence to look at the reference, their references, their capacity. Okay? So when we go deep into that, if we wanted 3 referees and they have given us 2, that means they can fall off. We look at the second bidder. Financial capacity, maybe they did not comply by giving you financial statements. We wanted 3 years of, bank statement. They only provided 1 year's bank statement. So these are the things that you have to look into. Right? You wanted to ask?
Yeah. Okay.
So if a tender was rejected during the financial evaluation, the debrief should state for goods, works, and consulting services that the tenderer did not submit the lowest priced responsive tender. Okay? At the end, when you are now reviewing the financial evaluation and the bidder is complaining, you will tell them that their bid wasn't the lowest priced responsive tender. There's a word now, responsive. Okay? You remember that chart where we were looking at the eligibility? Do you remember that one? We were meeting that 2 weeks ago, where there was acceptance, yes or no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So anything that was a no made it that the acceptance would be no. Okay? So if the tender is not the lowest price tender, then you tell the supplier that it's so. But when it's going for PPTA's no objection review, they will also look at how the other companies performed. Okay? So let's say you are justifying why you are not giving the number one ranked or who is the lowest evaluated tender the contract, and you're opting for number 2. You need to have justifications. Okay? It's not always that you will go for the lowest evaluated tender. The post qualification will determine whether you're going to stick with the lowest evaluated tender or not. But if you are going for the other tender which is expensive, then you have to ensure that there is a justification. And that justification comes from the post qualification. Let's look at the vital points in the briefing session.
Sir, when we're giving the report for approval to
PPT
IBD,
or IBDC.
yes, do you give both the ones you see that are successful and those are not successful? You give them the whole report on that?
Yes. So the whole report will provide, first of all, it will provide a background of the procurement assignment. Okay, so the background was wanted to procure vehicles, 4 vehicles, blah 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 blah. Yeah? Tenders were sent, blah blah blah. Okay? Companies that submitted their bids were 20. Okay, and these are blah 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 listed. Okay, so the evaluation went like this: preliminary evaluation, 20 bidders, 6 of them failed preliminary because of reasons A, B, C, D, E. Each one of them giving the reasons why they failed. All right, that means you're remaining with 14. So 14 bidders went through to the technical evaluation, technical detail evaluation. Okay. From the 14, only maybe only 9 failed the technical because they don't meet the specifications A, B, C, D, E reasons. Okay, meaning we are remaining with 5. 5 qualified for the financial evaluation, and here are the 5: A, B, C, D, E. Right? Ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1 is this, number 2 is that, number 3 is okay. Now, based on our assessment, we are now they propose that from the evaluation, here is our recommendation. Toyota Malawi should be awarded the contract ABCD because of reasons. In case Toyota Malawi was not number 1, there has to be a justification for that. Okay? It's a process, but it's not a difficult process. It's not a difficult process. So you need to understand how it operates. That's why in an evaluation, more especially for bigger contracts, like complex contracts, construction more especially, they take a lot of time. 2 weeks, 3 weeks to evaluate. Not a month. What are you going to be doing? But if you're used to it, it becomes now normal for you. Yeah, it becomes normal for you. Okay. So only the total criteria and sub-criteria scores obtained by the requesting bidders are reviewed. So you are going to show them their, okay, only theirs. So this is how you performed. You don't show them how the others perform, because how the others perform is what you have seen in the papers, that the winner is so so and so. Okay? Individual scores for individual criteria in sub-criteria remains confidential. Only the total scores obtained by the other bidders are reviewed. The individual criteria and sub-criteria scores of the other bidders remain confidential. So you show that bidder so and so obtained 70%, but you do not show how they obtained the 70%. Are we clear? Bidder A scored 90%.